Since I don't look autistic to most people, whatever that means, in the past, nobody guessed I was autistic, and neither did I. As a result, I wondered for years why I struggled with life so much, being constantly overwhelmed, exhausted, and feeling lost in unfamiliar social situations. Taking care of myself was tricky, because I tried to ignore the overwhelm and exhaustion I experienced so often, seeing other people handle things with apparent ease. The reality is, trying to force neurotypical expectations on myself always led to severe burnout. Because by adjusting my behavior to neurotypical standards, I was unknowingly working against myself. After finally having been diagnosed, I have learned to understand what I personally need to thrive and be happy. I finally learned to handle life, even with autistic burnout knocking on my door when I went a bit too overboard with my projects again. So, this is how I take care of myself as an autistic artist. My art is not only an expression of myself, but has helped me to see my sensitive quirks not as weaknesses, but as gifts. When I was younger, I always thought I was weak, because my sensitivity and quickly drained energy levels were seen as such. Creating art later in life was one of the things that have helped me to appreciate myself a lot more and see my positive traits. To me, it communicates the beauty, love, and innocence I feel in the human soul, and especially in us sensitive people. It also has helped me a lot to see the strength in what is delicate and sensitive about me. If something that nice can come from me, why not look at myself from a positive point of view? It may be true that I get exhausted more quickly and struggle with transition situations or have sensory issues. I may be sometimes blindfolded in social situations because I find it hard to intuitively sense people's expectations and needs, and this can be very frustrating and depressing at times. But on the other hand, I think I can sometimes sense things others don't feel as vividly. To me, being sensitive doesn't just mean being overwhelmed by noises. It also means really feeling, for example, the essence of a tree or the vastness of a flower field. I can both be extremely stimulated by unpleasant and pleasant things. And while the unpleasant can be very difficult, the pleasant things let me enjoy life to the fullest. I've always struggled with sensory overload, which is why I wanted to just sit in my room after school to recover. It simply felt good to only do what I wanted for the rest of the day, without having to interact with anyone. Back then, I couldn't put this into words. I only knew that I felt totally appalled to leave the house. I had no coping strategies to make outside activities a pleasant and not a draining experience for me. This is why I missed out on a lot. Today, it's different. I estimate how much energy it will cost me to go somewhere beforehand and prepare for that. I carry snacks, headphones, and music with me at all times and deliberately choose to go to places that are beautiful and uplifting. If I am with others and need a break, I will be honest about that. This way, I can participate much better in external life and activities. Creating art at my own pace helps me to maintain my creative processes in the long term. In the past, I pressured myself to constantly produce art and post content. I didn't understand yet that I need to carefully distribute my energy resources, so I poured my everything into each project and expected myself to repeat this endlessly. You always hear, just do it and stop procrastinating, and it seems to help others. But using this approach, I experienced repeated burnouts after finishing something. That's why my favorite projects, like this channel, used to have months-long time gaps when nothing happened. Today, I carefully watch my energy levels and adjust my work pace accordingly. And what may seem inefficient is actually enabling me to post regularly on YouTube for the first time ever. And although I still experience burnout, the recovery time is much shorter now. When I still lived in the city, I was somewhat more used to all the hustle and bustle, but I had much less quality of life. Grey facades, crowds of people, and cold neon lights are hardly bearable for me in the long run. Since I've been living in the countryside, I'm more relaxed and content. I don't yet live in a beautiful cottage, but this doesn't keep me from creating an environment that inspires me and makes me comfortable. If beautiful things surround me, they nourish my soul and creativity. That's why I love gardening on my balcony. With simple methods, you can bring a grey space to life. If you grow veggies, you will gain so much joy and feel and taste the significance of organic food. By growing flowers, which bees and butterflies love, you will attract lots of those. But of course, not only the pretty insects will come. That can be inconvenient, but also a lot more interesting and a bit funny too. There it is, still sleeping, and we're going to bring it up. As an autistic artist, the hectic pace of everyday life and the world often overwhelms me. However, respecting myself and my boundaries, creating art at my own pace, and shaping my personal space to fit my needs not only helps me to cope, but also to enjoy life, even in a world that wasn't designed with me in mind.